Hey guys, I hope you guys are having a great week and preparing for a safe Halloween. This is Shorter Star, and let's talk. Um, let's get right into it today. Apparently, jaywalking is now legal in the state of New York. And I'm actually from Brooklyn, so I am guilty. We just grew up that way. As long as no cars were coming or there was enough time to get across the street, that's what we did. And that again was illegal because jaywalking is crossing the street outside of a crosswalk or against the traffic light, which we all do. It's a New York thing, New Jersey thing, but in New York now it's legal. And why is this important? Because in different states, we forget what we get away with here, we won't get away in other places. I remember growing up in California as a young kid. And I remember one time I was running across the street, and I just ran across the street. It was safe to do it, but I was chastised because it's illegal. And parents get into trouble in California when their children do those types of things. So it's a big deal in certain places. So, I mean, guess what? Now that we can do it legally, we don't have to look from side to side. Hey, it is what it is. I just want to let you guys know it's now legal. So now you cannot get into trouble for it. Also in New York, the vessel. I don't know how many people are actually familiar with the vessel, but it's a structure, building sort of a type in New York. And it opened in 2019, but it closed in 2021 due to a series of people unaliving themselves off the structure. You know what I mean? So now they put up some barriers, and now, I guess now because of the holidays, we got Thanksgiving and Christmas and Rockefeller Center in New York. So they want to bring, excitement back to the city and letting tourism run free. So those that are interested in this 150-foot, 46-meter structure is on the Manhattan's west side. If you're interested in it, hey, knock yourself out. Most of us that live in New York, we don't really necessarily go to these things unless we have family members or people in town that want to visit these things because it's an everyday thing for us. But again, if you're interested in that, it's something great for you to do with the family or, moving right along. Now, let's get to some Trump news. That'd be Donald Trump. Well, apparently, Trump is named as one of Diddy's freak-off parties. He's been named to attend. I don't know what much to say about it because, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. And I mean, with the scandals that's going on, a little bit of everybody wanted to be around everyone, whoever was influential and who had the money and the status, they wanted to be around. So I'm sure that there'll be a lot of names, but to hear that Donald Trump was named to party with Diddy, I'm not surprised. But I am going to kind of let you draw a little conclusion. Here you go. Let's listen.
A new allegation. Donald Trump, former president of the United States, Republican nominee for president currently, was in fact at P. Diddy's freak-off parties. Let's put it up. Full mass. Now, once again, this is currently an allegation, but according to the new allegations, former President Donald J. Trump has been linked to Sean Diddy Combs and his wild, infamous parties.
Now, are we surprised? I mean, you see the pictures. I'm not surprised by anything that Mr. Trump does, and I'm going to be respectful. Usually I call him the orange man or whatever, but you know what? It's so much disrespect going on with this particular election. I'll put it, it's disrespect going on every election, but this one is a little nasty, as we saw with the comedian at the front rally in Madison Square Garden earlier in the week. It's really, really nasty, but am I surprised he's involved in some way, form, or fashion? No, not at all. I almost expected it, to be honest with you. And I'm sure he had his own versions of parties, but this is all allegedly, again, as you see, allegedly. I have to keep saying that. Tell me what you think. Are you surprised at it? I'm surprised it took this long to come out, to be honest with you. I'm surprised his name wasn't one of the first, to be really, really, really honest with you. But hey, we'll see what that turns out to be. It doesn't seem like he can do any wrong. It doesn't seem to matter. He can grab women privates and he can say this and he can say that. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. So, again, get to the polls, guys. We have an election on this coming Tuesday. I already personally voted. But please, guys, you know what to do. Let's do what we need to do. Okay? Enough of that. Now, preschoolers were given melatonin patches without permission during nap time. Now, melatonin is a drug. It's a sleeping aid. It's used for different things, but to be given to preschoolers, tell me what you think. Here we go.
Preschoolers were being given drug patches. All right. They would be being given patches in order to make them go to sleep. And they were called sleepy stickers. And then one of these children snuck a sleepy sticker out of the facility, and it is news. Put up the picture. This is an image of the sleepy sticker. According to parents of preschoolers at a primary school in Texas, children were given these sleepy stickers. They're considered melatonin patches without any permission from anyone.
Now, let's dive deep into this seriously. So now the teachers of preschoolers, which we are aware the kids take a nap at a certain time. They have their little snacks, their little lunches. We've all been preschoolers at one time, and we've had preschoolers at one time. But for a school to take it upon themselves to give your child, your preschooler, a melatonin patch so that they'll sleep longer. I don't even know what to say about that. The parents, they want charges brought up on the school. And I totally agree. I mean, come on. You know that you're teaching preschoolers. You know that they have a nap time. You know they can be rambunctious and a whole bunch of things. They are kids. But that's like putting, years ago, back in the day, you used to hear people say they put a little swig in their bottle. That's horrible. That's horrible. Because what happens when that kid no longer wants that bottle when it doesn't taste like it has liquor in it? So then they're becoming addicted at some point. But this right here is completely ridiculous. I mean, I have to give credit to Indisputable with Dr. Rashid Ritchie. I watch him. He's great, and he gets down to it. But my thing is, this is ridiculous, and I don't think that most people are aware that this is happening. This happened in Texas. This is happening across the country because these teachers don't want to be teachers. People are doing things for the money, just for the job. What happened to doing the job? You're dealing with preschoolers. Come on, people, preschoolers. So I will be following up on this particular story because I actually want to see what comes out of this. I don't know. We have to see, but we will get back into it. Preschoolers given melatonin at nap time. Okay. And what happened was one of the preschoolers happened to take one of the patches home. That's how it was discovered. One of the parents, when they were cleaning out their backpack, was like, what is this? Where did you get it from? Because the parent knew what it was. Where did you get this from? And the child said that the teacher gives them to us when we take our naps. And she lost her complete mind and then contacted other parents, and they questioned their children, and it was the same story. So if this one child wouldn't have done what children do, pick up stuff, put it in their pocket and take it home, or put it in a bag and take it home. That's what kids do. And If this one child wouldn't have done that, they would have gotten away with this. They've been doing this. Apparently, they've been doing it for a while. This thing just new. So I don't know, people, but we have to watch our kids. We have to make sure that people are responsible enough to take care of our kids. Forget about all the certifications. Forget about the education. We're dealing with human beings mentally. Somebody thinks that that's okay. It has nothing to do, and you know it's against the law. These are minors. These are preschoolers. These are kids, really, really kids. So if they're doing that, what else were they doing? So now, moving right along, let's get into, since we're speaking of preschoolers and children. I'm sure that most of you know at the moment that Puffy has now been accused. How can I say this? Of essaying a 10-year-old male. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, but this thing just sickens me. Puffy, it's like he has no limits. I'm just gagging. He has no limits. Every day is something else. It's something new. Let's go.
P. Diddy, another accuser. Now he's accused of drugging and abusing 10-year-old child. Put up the picture full mask. As I said from day one, the allegations will continue to come.
Absolutely.
In updates to the Sean Diddy Combs case, he has now been accused of drugging and violating a 10-year-old child in a new lawsuit. The suit has been filed in the Supreme Court of New York.
Now, let's see. Now, apparently, this 10-year-old wants to be a rapper. Okay. So his parents, okay, so sorry, let's get back. Wanted to be a rapper. Somehow they contacted Puffy in Bad Boys or whatever. And Puffy wanted to see the child alone first. So what they did was they flew from California. This is where the boy's family. So I guess it was his mom and his dad and him and his sister. They flew to New York, but Puffy didn't want to meet the family, didn't want to see the family. He wanted to meet the child alone, allegedly. And apparently the kid was allowed by his parents to go over to the offices and meet with him alone. You know what? I'm realizing that some of these parents are not thinking clearly. They're thinking of money. They're thinking of success. They're thinking about how they can retire, and they're not thinking of their children. And apparently, the boy rapped a few songs for Puffy. Puffy liked it, but Puffy told him that there's some things that you're going to have to do and get used to doing in this business, and essayed him. So again, I'm not surprised, yet another accuser, but now the ages are just, we were talking about 9-year-old last week and this 10-year-old this week. And again, this is not going to end anytime soon. This is not going to stop the accusations, and people are going to continue coming out the woodwork. True or false, right or wrong, they're going to come, because apparently this has been going on for so long and right up under our noses. But when you think of children, we're taking 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds. Yo, you're a monster. You need some help, like real help. Take that. Take what? Take what? Listen, it's getting to the point where you look like, oh, it's another. And it shouldn't be another. You should be surprised. You should be like, oh my God, but you're not. Nothing surprises you now. Okay. So for what I understand, I actually saw this. And I thought that it'd be interesting because a lot of us would be traveling now, to and from, and going to see family and family coming to see us, whatever. And now airlines are now required to pay cash refunds for delays. And they have to pay cash, people. This ain't No promissory note. This ain't no voucher. They got to pay you cash. Now, what I'm seeing is U.S. airlines are now required to refund you for a canceled flight automatically. Domestic flights, if they're delayed 3 hours or more, cash refund. International flights, if they're delayed 6 hours or more, cash refund. Cancellations, cash refund. So, now we're starting to hold the airlines responsible finally, because honestly, they've been getting away with murder for such a long time. They used to give you vouchers, or if something happened, they may even put you up in a local hotel, you know. But now I've it hasn't personally, I have been delayed. I think we were going to, where were we going? I don't even remember where we were going, but where we were, it was something simple like a Miami trip. And we were flying Delta, I believe, or American, and they have one flight going back and forth from New Jersey to Miami. And something happened with the plane in Miami and it had to be repaired. And they did not put another plane to come to. So you still remember, it's a 2-3 hour flight. You still have to wait for that flight to reach you, deboard, get cleaned, refueled. They're getting away with murder. So now they got to pay you cash. Maybe the cancellations won't happen as much. Maybe they will stop overbooking flights, because I'm realizing that a lot of flights are just really being overbooked. And it's about the money. It's about the dollar. It's so right now we're about to travel for Thanksgiving. We're about to travel for Christmas and New Year's and whatever vacations, winter vacations are going. Be aware if these things happen, look it up, get it together, know what you need to know to get your money, because they've been holding back on us for so long. Now they got to pay you cash. So with that being said, get your money. Okay. Get your money. Now, I wanted to talk about something that happened at Benihana's. I met, I had wrote some stuff down, but you know what? I was there. It happened. I met these two beautiful, very nice women at Benihana's the other day having lunch. I did some shopping. Me and my partner did some shopping. And then we decided to go to Benihana's because I love hibachi, right? And when you go to hibachi, if it's just two of you, hibachi may seat maybe 8 people, 4 couples, or more, depending on the setup. So normally when you're sitting at hibachi, you're not familiar with the person that's sitting across from you or whatever. They're filling up the table, and a cook comes out and he does his little tricks and throw things in your mouth, or light volcanoes with onions, the regular thing. It's entertaining. It's cool. Just get me my food and I'm good. But this particular trip, we spoke to the two young ladies, but then there was a husband, wife, and 2 kids. One child looked to be maybe, I would say maybe 3, and maybe the other one may have been 4 or 5, African American. And I noticed before we were even, they get the group together before they get the entire group together before they take you to your station where the person is going to cook for you. And I saw the woman come through the door. I'm sitting on the couch in the waiting area, and I saw the woman come in, and there's a couch across from me, and she came in with 2 kids, and she was kind of struggling, but then I saw the man come in right behind her, and I saw them say something, so I assumed husband, wife, kids, but he wasn't helping her. He just flopped himself down on the seat, pulled out his phone, and just was doing until they got the group together for that. And she's struggling, trying to get the kids here. You're just coming from the car, so you're trying to make sure you have everything. So, okay, boom. So then they tell us, okay, well, let's go. They direct us all to our table. And, you get to pick your seating. And, they settle on the right side of us. And the other 2 beautiful ladies that we met, very nice, they sat on the left of us. So, we're waiting for food. You know how that goes. You order some drinks or whatever it is. And, they take your orders and the food comes and the person comes and we prepare it and everything. But with that, I thought it was me. And I was talking to my partner and was saying, wow, he could really help her out. Like, he's not even trying to help her. Like, one kid is running, doing something. Another kid is doing something else, and she's trying to keep it up, and she has a really bad attitude. You can tell that she's like aggravated, but she came in like that. So I didn't know if it was you don't know what it is. Sometimes women are just aggravated at the husband. They could be aggravated at the situation, whatever it was. You can tell she was aggravated. Didn't matter to him. So then somehow they switched seats. First, it was the wife and the kid next to my partner, then me, and then the two other women on the side. And then somehow one of the kids kept trying to go. So what they did was they switched where they put the two kids over together, and the husband came around and sat next to the wife and sat right next to my partner. So the kids were on the other end because they kept kicking the chair, they kept doing stuff. So they put them on the other end and they sat here. Okay, fine. Again, he's not helping a bit. He's not helping. And I find that this new generation of men and women, this is not just, targeted at one thing or another. It's respect for the relationship. Not only was he not helping her, but he just seemed very disconnected and this is all while we're, dinner's being prepared. Usually hibachi, the kids love stuff like that because it's the fire and the flames. And like I said, they build these volcano onions, and the kids love that stuff. I personally hate it. It gets on my nerves because the grease starts popping on my glasses, and but nevertheless, he just seemed very disinterested in being there. It was like he forced her out. And I said to my partner, like, it seems like this might be her only time out where she's having someone feed her for a change. Unbeknownst to us, we didn't notice that the two women on the side was catching the vibes and catching it all at the same time. We didn't know. So, okay, do we have dinner? Things go by. A little conversation, but no conversation with the husband, wife. The husband was, like I said, in his phone doing other things, and she was tending to the kids. So I wound up having a conversation with the women, and we were talking a little bit, but just about food, drinks, atmosphere, things like that. Dinner's over. Picture this. So I didn't hear, because my partner's sitting next to the husband, I didn't hear him tell her, get the kids together and take them to the car. He was going to take care of the bill. All I know is that I looked up and she was gathering the kids' stuff, and then they kind of walked out. But remember, the weather's pretty now, so there's no coats, hats, scarves. It's not that. So I thought that she was taking them to the restroom. And then I noticed she was gone a while. I'm like, wow. But then when you look over, the husband he has one of those phones now. So he's on his phone and he's red back in the chair. Now, mind you, he's right next to my partner. Do you know this man was on some site and all you saw was boobies as he's scrolling? I can look over and my partner's sitting directly. He's just stretched back and he's just scrolling and answering and texting back. So I get a nudge and I'm like, and I looked over and I'm like, you saw tatas, it was weird. And I was like, this woman, I'm thinking she's in the bathroom. But then he says, no. He told her to go to the car. I said, oh, so this was his time. And he was typing, like setting up a date with someone, with all of these, whomever. But all you saw was women. He kept scrolling and all you saw was bikinis and this and that and the other. And the other two women kind of caught it. They saw it. Because remember, we're in a closed space. And he winds up getting up and doing something, paid his bill or whatever, and left. And my partner and the other two women started conversing about it. And it was just so, this man couldn't wait she couldn't have been at the front door of the restaurant before he started scrolling. And I think this generation is so disrespectful. I mean, I don't condone cheating and being unfaithful, but you know what? It is what it is. But there's a way. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And we didn't need to know or to see him doing that to her. And if he's acting like this in public, imagine how he is at home. If he's not helping your kids in public, he's not helping them at home. He's busy. And I remember we both, me and the other two women, we talked about it, and and they started to follow me for this page and everything. And thank you, ladies. It was great having lunch with you. Even though it wasn't with you, it was with you. We had a great time. But it's just, I say all that to say the respect, the embarrassment. Like, you don't even care how I think of your marriage. You are together, you have beautiful kids. I'm thinking, oh, okay, And then no sooner than she's 10 feet away, you're scrolling and texting, and it's amazing. I say all that to say, women and men, make better choices who you have children with. We all make mistakes. We get into relationships when we're younger or older. But when you start producing children with these people and you know what type of people they are, because you pretty much know. Well, I think sometimes you may know. It depends on, but well, you always know what type of guy that you're dealing with. He's going to be helpful. If he's going to be there, if he's responsible. People don't pick these type of things when they're having kids. They're just having kids, and I'm not looking down on anyone. I'm just saying, guys, this woman was beautiful. I mean, she really was pretty. Her kids were beautiful, and he wasn't bad looking. But the point was, from the moment they came into my eyesight when they walked into the restaurant and he wasn't helping her, I instantly had a different outlook on him. Like, what in the world? You're not going to help her. So again, this was my little situation at Benihana's. It was different. I just never seen it so blatant at that manner. I mean, come on, come on. But again, we have an election, people, coming up. We have things we need to do. We've talked about the Puffies and the Trumps and other things besides the election. Okay, so now we have to do our part, whatever it is. I'm sorry that people feel that your vote don't count, but I believe that it does. And guess what? It doesn't even matter if that would ever really come out to be the case, because if you think it hasn't been that long, we didn't have a right to vote. We couldn't vote. And I think, like, you're talking to people and we talk about slavery, which was hundreds of years ago. But when you speak to people and you say, do you know it was like 50 something years ago? 50 years ago, we couldn't even vote. 50 something years ago, we couldn't even vote. We weren't even looked at as human. I don't know, guys, but what I will say, stay intentional, stay focused. I hope you've enjoyed this. I, I struggle with some of these stories sometimes because they sometimes are just so ridiculous. And when I'm reading about Puffy, 9-year old, 10-year old, I didn't even go into the story with his sons having a fight with Ray J, or picking a fight with Ray J, and Chris Brown being there to break it up. And it's stupid, it's silly, it's ridiculous. So on that note, you guys have a safe Halloween. Um, be intentional, love one another, be safe. And until next time, I love you guys. Have a great day.